Hello, good morning. Today we are talking about workout motivation, how to find it, how to cultivate it, how to make sure you can stay on track with your goals. And I wanted to talk about this today because it is, not gonna lie, particularly relevant to me right now because my workout motivation has been that big. I've not gotten in any of my scheduled programmed workouts in like a month and a half. I've basically taken a prolonged, unplanned, and involuntary break from exercise, and I have been kind of struggling to find my workout motivation and get back on track. And so I, in the last week or two, have been kind of rebuilding that and cultivating that and working towards getting back to where I want to be. And so I kind of wanted to share my thoughts on it, my strategies, all of that good stuff. To be fair, a good chunk of the time that I wasn't working out was because I was injured, so it's not like I had zero motivation. I injured my knee though, so I could have been doing upper body stuff, I could have been doing other stuff, and I wasn't. So it was a little bit of I'm injured, I should take a break, a little bit of I could be doing stuff and I just don't want to. Anyway, we're gonna talk about my top tips, strategies, etc. for that in a bit, but I am hungry and I have basically no food in my house because I may or may not be planning on not being home for a couple days, and I ate basically everything already, and I don't want to go grocery shopping and have groceries and then be gone. So I am at the one and only Rainbow Acres and I'm gonna go get some stuff, probably a smoothie, but we'll see what they have. So I got a brownie shake. To no one's surprise, Marissa gets a chocolate smoothie for breakfast. I took a picture of the ingredients so I can tell you guys what's in it. We got banana, dates, peanut butter, ice, carob or chocolate chips, non-fat milk, and then I added chocolate protein powder. I think they used the Ancient Nutrition bone broth protein, but I don't really know what they did. But it's very good. So I've obviously been thinking a lot about motivation and hard work and why we tend to feel so entitled to success without hard work when it comes to our fitness journeys. In most other areas of life, people understand that in order to be successful, you have to put in hard work. If you want a thriving career, it's going to take years of hard work in most cases. If you want to finish school, if you want to get an advanced degree, that requires a lot of hard work. Relationships take so much work. Learning an instrument, learning a language, all of these things that we want in life tend to require us putting in hard work over long periods of time. But when it comes to a health and fitness journey, everyone has this expectation that it's not gonna take hard work, that it's gonna take 30 days of a juice cleanse, and suddenly, boom, you have all of the results that you want. And I think it's precisely because the fitness industry sells us these 30-day juice cleanses, 2-week detoxes, 1-week ab challenges that are designed to get you all the results that you want when they don't actually do that. And we see these insane before and after transformation pictures of people who theoretically got all these amazing results in such a short amount of time, and we want that too. But first of all, most of those before and after pictures are fake, or if you took an after the after picture, you would see that they lost all of the results. But we're taught, it's ingrained in us that the perfect fitness journey is short, that it's a 30-day challenge, when in reality, at minimum, it's a 12-month journey, all the way through being a lifelong journey. In my opinion, fitness should be a lifelong lifestyle. It's a little bit beside the point. And of course, as humans, we are going to look for the path of least resistance. We're going to look for the quickest way to achieve anything because that is how we make progress as humans. But that's what ultimately leads us to lose a lot of motivation in our fitness journeys when we think that we're on the fastest path. We think that we're doing everything right, and then things don't go the way we expect them to. There goes your motivation. So I think a lot of the lack of motivation comes from the abundance of false promises of the fitness industry. So first and foremost, when it comes to having motivation, I think it's extremely important to have reasonable expectations. Like I said, I think pretty much everyone should go into their fitness journey with the expectation that they are dedicating at least 1 full year to this journey. Many people may need 4 or 5 years to get to where they want to be ultimately. It really depends on like what your goals are and like what you're really going for when it comes to like physique and health and everything. Like if you're starting off with a ton of health issues and really far from the physique that you want, it's gonna take a lot longer than like you have 5 pounds to lose, you need to gain 5 pounds of muscle and your health is already on point. Anyway, basically, reasonable expectations are extremely important. Speaking of motivation and hard work, I have a ton of work that I need to like super hyper focus and blast through right now because I don't have a lot of time and I have a lot to do. So I'm gonna do one of my favorite things and take a little brain boosting supplement. Today, do an Organifi Pure. I am about to make a mess everywhere. So this is a bad idea to do this on the couch. I got it, I got it, I got it. It's fine. Okay, I'm opening this over a water bottle. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but just so that you have some reference for what's going on. There we go. See? Got it. All good. But this is one of my all-time favorite supplements for boosting brain health and focus because it not only has ingredients that boost brain health itself and boost focus itself, but also has a ton of ingredients to boost gut health as well. And as we are starting to learn, the gut is basically a second brain. And so your gut health has a significant impact on your brain health. If your gut is not healthy, your brain health will ultimately suffer. Where is the lid for this? What did I do with it?
1 moment, please.
Hello? Found it. So this gives you basically a double whammy boost for your brain health because it supports like short-term immediate brain health and then also more like long-term brain health by supporting your gut health. So one of the coolest ingredients in here is coffee berry, which has a unique profile of polyphenols that have been clinically shown to support the body's production of BDNF, or brain-derived neurotropic factor. My mouth just doesn't want to say that syllable in there. But BDNF is a neuroprotein that is basically just key in supporting and maintaining overall brain health. So boosting that is huge. It also has lion's mane. You guys know how I feel about lion's mane. It is one of my probably top 3 favorite adaptogens. Just because I am a big fan of supporting brain health in general. It's like one of the main reasons I do what I do and why I live the healthy lifestyle that I live is I want to protect and maintain my brain health as long as possible. So adaptogens and supplements that can help support that just make me really excited. And lion's mane is an adaptogenic mushroom that has been shown to boost neurogenesis in the brain. And it even has some research in the context of helping kind of protect against Alzheimer's, which is kind of, there needs to be a bit more research in that, but like it's really cool research. But I love taking lion's mane when I want to really get in the zone and focus on something. I also love having it as a pre-workout because I do find that it kind of like gets my brain just to feel a lot more clear, like it reduces brain fog, and so I can just like zone in on something and just, you know, be in that like laser focused state. This is a fantastic morning coffee replacement. If you watch my video on quitting coffee, you'll know my feelings on having caffeine regularly and how I have been avoiding that. And lately I haven't even been getting my decaf mochas. I've been having other fun fancy beverages like this because it just feels a lot more in alignment with like me and who I am and what I value and everything. To, you guys know me. Like if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that for someone like me, having like an Organifi Pure or like an adaptogenic latte or something that I like craft myself that's full of just fun adaptogens that get me really excited, like that's so much more me and it just makes me so much more excited about everything in general. So that is to say, this is one of my favorite morning coffee replacements. So I do highly recommend checking out Organifi Pure or any Organifi products. Honestly, you guys know I love the brand as a whole. It's just such a good quality supplement company. Like they pride themselves on the quality of their ingredients. They make sure things have minimal glyphosate residue, which so many companies don't pay any attention to. Like that is just so important. All of their ingredients are science-backed. The ingredients that they do add in are all there for a purpose. They don't add like a bunch of fillers or additives or anything like that. Their protein is my current go-to protein. I'm about to run out and I need to order more now that I'm thinking about it. But if you do want to check them out, I'll leave a link down in the description box below, or you can go to Organifi.com/fitandnerdy and you can use the code FITANDNERDY to get yourself 20% off at checkout. So go check it out. Okay, I have just had a very productive couple hours. Like, I wasn't expecting the Organifi Pure to kick in that hard, but yo, I got some stuff done, okay? Doing laundry, hence why I changed. But now it's time to sit down and have the actual conversation about motivation and discipline when it comes to exercise. So here's the thing about motivation. Pretty darn useless when it comes to trying to live a healthy lifestyle and use exercise and proper nutrition and everything to really make long-lasting changes, because motivation is fleeting. Motivation is not something that you can expect to stick around forever. And so relying on it is just a very easy way to give yourself an excuse to stop. Like, when you really think about it, when you hear people talk about motivation, it's often in the context of an excuse rather than a positive thing. It's usually, oh, I don't have the motivation to do X, Y, Z. That's why I'm not doing it. Excuse. You don't often hear a lot of people go, oh my God, I'm so motivated and I've been so motivated for so long and I'm making so much progress because I'm so motivated. Like, that doesn't really happen. And that's because motivation is fleeting. Motivation comes and goes, and therefore you cannot rely on it to make consistent progress. So the big thing that's really important to understand is that instead of relying on motivation, you need to build consistency and discipline. Those are the things that are gonna get you to where you wanna go. Those are the things that are gonna stick with you no matter what. They're not gonna fizzle out in 2 weeks when you haven't gotten the amazing results that this 2-week shred program promised you. Instead, if you have consistency and discipline, you're gonna be able to stick to things day in and day out, no matter what happens, which will get you to your goals eventually. So that's what I'm personally working on right now, is rebuilding the consistency with a new workout program. That was one of the reasons that I kind of lost consistency in my training, other than being injured, was I decided to switch from being mostly like lifting based, like in the gym lifting heavy weights, to much more like mobility, flexibility, yoga style training, which personally I just don't find as fun. And so it was a lot harder for me to be consistent with a program that I wasn't actually as excited about. It's something that I really, really want to do and something that I definitely want to make progress in, so I want to stick with it. But I was having a hard time like digging deep and finding that initial motivation, because I often find that it's really helpful when you have initial motivation to kind of get the momentum going, and then you use the momentum to build the consistency and the discipline. So what I've been doing now that my knee is healed and I can get back to exercise is I am working on kind of building that underlying excitement to drive the initial motivation, and then also working on using that to develop consistency. So one of the big things that I've started doing in the last like 2 weeks is I started listening to The Align Method by Aaron Alexander. If you don't listen to his podcast, I think it's called The Align Method. Highly recommend. No, it's just called The Align Podcast. Great podcast so far, loving the book. But basically in the book, he talks about movement and the benefits of movement and different styles of movement. And that is kind of his thing, is he's very passionate about movement. And for me, listening to people talk about things that they're passionate about gets me excited about those things. And so I've been actively listening to that book in hopes that some of that passion and excitement will be imparted to me, and I can translate that into getting passionate and excited about my own workout routine that is more like mobility and movement focused. And so far it's been working, and I'm starting with more baby steps in getting back into exercise. A, because I haven't done like a workout in like a month to a month and a half, and so I don't want to like go all in back to just like lifting super heavy. Like, I would be super sore and then not be able to lift for a week and then not be able to be consistent. So I'm easing my way back in, and I'm trying to rebuild the consistency and the discipline with like little pieces. So far in this last week, I have committed to doing a like 15 to 20 minute stretching routine every day, no matter what. That's it. That, and I've been going on walks most days, but like that's really easy for me to do, and I kind of do that anyway. I'm not forcing myself to start with like the whole routine that I wrote for myself, because that just feels like too much, to the point where I feel like I won't do it if I try to force myself to do it. So I'm starting with what feels manageable and what feels like something that I can be excited about and can be consistent with. And for me, for the last week, this has meant doing it right before I go to bed, because I'll wake up and be like, oh, I'll do it later. And then throughout the day, I'm like, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And then I get to the end of the day, I'm like, I have to do this because I've committed to doing this and I'm building the discipline. So we're gonna do it. And it's actually really been a nice way to kind of like wind down for the day and then get in bed after being all like stretchy. But my plan this week is to transition that that to morning stretching sessions because that's gonna be a lot easier for me to build off of. So once I can be consistent with stretching every single morning, I can start kind of adding on to that and do like yoga every single morning. So instead of like 15 minutes of stretching, I'll do like 30 minutes of yoga. And then as I rebuild that consistency and discipline, I can slowly expand and get into the routine that like I actually want to be consistent with doing. Alrighty, I am getting ready to go to dinner with a friend. Very exciting. Look at me, I'm socializing. Go Marissa. Half my clothes are currently in the washer or the dryer, so I have no idea what I'm gonna wear. So I'm gonna figure that out, but while I get ready, figured I would walk you guys through some top tips for like how to build discipline. So first things first is know your deeper why. Should I just wear like straight up leggings and a tank top? Should I even worry about being cute? I don't really need to be cute. No, I found the solution. Overalls. Anyway, the deeper why is kind of what I was talking about when I was saying I'm finding excitement and passion through listening to other people talk excitedly and passionately about what I want to be excited and passionate about. But your deeper why can come from anything you want. I just encourage you not to make your deeper why that you want to look better, because that tends to not be like an actual deep why, that's more of a surface level why. But when you have like a deeper reason that you can draw from to kind of keep yourself engaged in the process, it can really help with being able to push yourself to be consistent and be disciplined. The next big thing is to know your weaknesses and remove temptation. Like if you know that specifically when you start eating more ice cream, you go off the rails and then you lose the will to do literally anything, then maybe don't keep ice cream in the house, you know? If you're trying to build discipline with a workout routine and you often come home from work and flop down on the couch and start watching Netflix instead of going to the gym, then a good way to head that off would be to make sure you don't sit on the couch when you come home. Like bring your shoes to work with you so that you put on your gym shoes and go straight to the gym instead of going home. Just remove those things that could otherwise interfere with the consistency you're trying to build. And this is most important, particularly in the beginning, while you're trying to actively build the discipline and the consistency. Because once you have the discipline and the consistency, then those small things that may trip you up at the beginning are a lot less likely to trip you up because you already have the discipline. Yeah. For everyone who's gonna ask, I got these overalls at H&M like 5 years ago, so they probably don't exist anymore, but they're H&M. Next important thing though is have clear goals and a clear plan. You can't be consistent with something when you don't know precisely what you need to be consistent with. So this means if you're trying to build consistency and discipline with a workout program, like have an actual workout program. Don't do the thing where you just go to the gym and every day do something random and like figure out what you're gonna do when you get there. That is a recipe for not going to the gym because you don't have a plan and don't have clear goals and don't have a reason to show up because there's nothing to be consistent with. And then also having a set schedule can be super helpful, but I say can because for me right now, or at least for this last week where I was trying to just get that initial kind of momentum going, I didn't set like a precise schedule of like, I'm gonna do my stretching at this time every day. I kind of just did it when I could, which ended up being at the end of the day. And if I had tried to force myself to do it every morning, there's no way I would have been consistent with it. But that said, the overall schedule is do this every day, no matter what. And that in itself was really helpful. So, you know, if you can stick to like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you know exactly what days and potentially what times you are committing to, it's a lot easier to commit to those things when you know what you're committing to, rather than just saying, okay, I'm gonna get in 3 workouts this week at some time. What shoes should I wear? This is the question. I think just sneakers. Really need to wash my sneakers. Or get a new pair of sneakers because they're kind of falling apart. These are, they're looking kind of grody. Need to at least magic eraser them at some point. Not today though. The next hugely helpful thing in building consistency is building a routine around the thing that you want to be consistent with. This is where supplement companies that create pre-workouts and protein powder and intra-workouts and post-workouts are hugely successful because they play right into the workout routine. Like if you can create a routine around something, you can create a lot more consistency and momentum with it. So when it comes to working out, it may be more helpful for you to be like, okay, when it's gym time, I'm going to take my pre-workout, have my pre-workout snack, dance around my room for 3 minutes to my favorite song, and then go to the gym. Like, not that I necessarily recommend taking pre-workouts and all of that, but like, as long as you have something set in place that kind of builds up the momentum to going, it may be easier to get yourself there. Okay, we have the final outfit. Please ignore the pile of laundry in the corner. Gonna wash that later, but we got the overalls. We got the, where is this from? Hollister, in case anyone's curious. Adidas desperately need to be washed. Do I need a jacket? Okay, part of me is really tempted to go jean on jean and just go all jean everything. By the way, this jean jacket available on holisticfitnesslabs.com, which is my website, by the way. This is my merch if you want to be cool in a jean jacket that says, what does it say? Holistic Fitness Club. Heck yeah. I'm dying. This is hilarious. I'm not actually gonna wear this. Should I? Fashion people, please comment down below as to whether or not you think this is an acceptable outfit to wear out and about. Like, I think it kind of works. It's very monochrome. I feel like you have to have a certain level of confidence to pull that kind of thing off though. And I do not have that kind of confidence, so. But anywho, let's cover these last few tips before I head out to go to dinner. I will take you guys along with me and show you what I get. Anyway, the next big, huge thing that is going to drastically affect your ability to be consistent and disciplined is your self-belief. If you believe that you can be disciplined, if you believe that you can stick to your routine, you're gonna be infinitely more likely to be able to stick with it. If you don't believe that you're gonna be able to stick with it, like, good luck. People do not talk enough about how important mindset is when it comes to efficacy of anything that you embark on, like health and fitness or otherwise, but particularly when it comes to fitness and nutrition. The frame of mind with which you approach these things is going to drastically impact whether or not they're successful. Because if you start out thinking, I'm probably not gonna be successful with this, like, this isn't really gonna work for me, I'm not gonna be able to stick with this, then when you don't, like when it doesn't work for you, it's what you thought anyway. It's not your fault, it was gonna happen. Whereas if you step into it and say, I can do this, I can be disciplined, I am going to be consistent with XYZ, I'm going to be able to follow through with this program, it's a lot scarier, because if you don't, then it's kind of on you. But hey, you're actually gonna be a lot more likely to be successful with it if you put yourself in that position in the first place. So the next important thing is to have a backup plan, because here's the thing, life happens. You may not be able to actually be consistent with the specific thing that you want to do day in and day out, in which case you need a little substitute. You need something that you can do so that you can feel like you're still being consistent, still building that discipline, because it takes time doing the thing over and over to build that discipline. So you need that little substitute in case something happens, so that you can still be disciplined and be consistent, but not necessarily have to stick to the original plan. So what that might mean is, you know, if you're trying to work out 5 days a week and let's say one day you just cannot make it to the gym for whatever reason, maybe your backup plan is to do 10 minutes of stretching at home, so that at least you are doing something and you are still following your plan, you're still being consistent, you're still being disciplined, and you're not letting that day be kind of a bump in the road. You have another option and you're doing it. And what this does is it not only helps you stay disciplined and consistent, how many times can I say those words in 10 minutes, but it also helps you maintain a more positive mindset around your journey and not feel guilty for slipping up or like going off the rails or whatever, because you're still following the plan. Even if it's not plan A, it's plan B, or it's plan C, or it's plan D, whatever it needs to be, you still have a plan and you're still sticking with it. That said, it's also important to remember that if something does go wrong, if you can't stick to plan A, B, C, D, E, etc., you have to forgive yourself and move on. This is where so many people get caught up, is they can't do plan A, maybe they can't do plan B, so they go, screw it, everything is lost, all of my progress is lost, and now you're completely off track and you can't be consistent and disciplined anymore. And then you're starting over at square one every single time. If you can learn to just forgive yourself and move past a day or two of being off track, then you're not really missing any days. You miss a day or two, but like beyond that, you're not starting from square one, you're just continuing from the score that you were on. And this kind of ties back into mindset and why that is so important and powerful as well. But those are the step-by-steps for how to build discipline. And now where's my phone? I gotta go to dinner because I am actually running late because I'm really bad at being on time. Am I running late? Running like 7 minutes late. It's okay, it's far. So for dinner, I ended up having a massive burger. Kind of hard to see in the video, but it was like 2 massive patties, lots of cheese, lots of good deliciousness. They unfortunately did not have a gluten-free bun, so had to get it lettuce wrapped, but I also split some fries with my friend that were so delicious. That was it, and now I am back home and I've just been sipping on some coconut water in a fancy little wine glass just to feel fancy about it. I asked you guys on Instagram the other day what questions you had about building discipline and being consistent with workouts, and I was gonna go through and address like specific questions and stuff, but I feel like a lot of what I rambled about already kind of covered a lot of the questions, and I feel like this video is probably long enough as it is. But I am gonna have a quick glance through the questions and see if there's anything like extra that I haven't addressed yet. I think the biggest theme that I saw with the questions, I'm just gonna give you guys some real talk right now. The biggest thing that I saw with the questions was a whole lot of excuses. A whole lot of, I work a lot and I don't have time, which I get, because I've been there. I spent a chunk of my life working 90 hours a week and driving an extra 10 hours a week. I had very little time in my life and I still managed to consistently get to the gym. I think I was going 3 days a week, maybe 2 days a week on like an off week. So I made it happen. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give for people in this situation that like feel like they don't have time is that it comes down to priorities. You will be able to make time for what you prioritize. Do you have time to watch Netflix twice a week? And by watch Netflix twice a week, I mean an hour of something twice a week, in which case there's 2 hours of workouts that you could do per week. Do you spend more than 2 hours a week hanging out with friends? If so, there are 2 hours that you could dedicate to working out. Not that inherently taking time to chill and watch Netflix or hang out with friends is a bad thing. I'm just saying you have the option to prioritize one over the other. And it's okay to prioritize one over the other. If you're like, I literally only have 2 hours in my week that I can do with what I want and I would rather spend it with friends than work out, then that's perfectly acceptable and that is 100% up to you. But I think where people struggle is recognizing and accepting that you are the one making that decision. Like that is your choice. And learning to be okay with that can be challenging, because then you can't just like blame your busy schedule for why you're not reaching your goals. You have to take personal responsibility for why you're not reaching your goals. And this is a whole rant for a whole other day, but being able to take personal responsibility is actually so empowering overall when it comes to anything that you're trying to achieve. So working on kind of shifting your mindset around that and putting yourself in the driver's seat of your own life is really, I recommend, because there is no falling off the wagon when you are in the driver's seat. You are the one driving the wagon. No one's kicking you out of the wagon. You are the one making the decision to drive off the road if you so choose, or drive back onto the road if you so choose. It is inherently empowering to put yourself in that spot. But I'm gonna reel it back in and keep talking about discipline. Someone asked about staying motivated with goals that take months to achieve, like with building muscle, because yeah, it can take months and months to like actually visually see progress building muscle, which can be disheartening and demotivating. But that's, I think, where relying on consistency and discipline and also trusting the process are key. Because yeah, at that point, it's not about motivation. You're probably not gonna stay super motivated every day for like 8 months of a muscle building journey. But if you have the consistency and discipline with your workouts and you trust the process, then you're gonna get there. And then you can kind of stop focusing on the results because you trust that you're gonna get there anyway if you put in the work and do the things. And that saves you so much more brain space than like stressing every day about whether or not you're making progress towards your goals. Someone asked what a valid excuse for not being consistent would be, and I kind of love this question, but you're gonna hate my answer. Only you know the real answer to this. You just have to be real and honest with yourself. So I think that kind of covers the big things that I hadn't really touched on yet. If there's any more interesting questions on here, I'm gonna just answer them on my Instagram stories. But let me know how you guys feel about what I said and any opinions that you guys have about this topic and my approach to it. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. Please give me words of encouragement for my journey around rebuilding discipline, around a new kind of exercise routine that I'm less excited about, but just as passionate about. Make sure you check out Organifi and use my code FitAndNerdy to get yourself 20% off of anything in their store. Link in the description. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does support me on my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. If you want to see more content from me all about health and fitness, you can check it out over here. To see future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!